Hi, welcome to our discussion on Lawbreakers. Today we're going to talk about some of the finer points of the game, and our general thoughts on what we thought about it.
Based on our
points of the game.
impressions of the beta.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, yeah, the game is still in beta.
There aren't even all of the classes or maps in the game yet.
I think only one of the classes wasn't in the game.
Yeah, one of the classes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's still a whole class at least.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a large.
Plus, I think their idea is they're going to add more.
Oh, yeah.
The more characters you add to a game, the harder it is to balance, or the more.
Well, yes, but the more characters you add to a game, the more interest have in a living service of a game too.
It's true. I'm not saying that they shouldn't add more characters. I'm just saying that even adding one character will change the entire balance of the game.
Yeah, well, maybe. Should we sort of talk about like balance first, because we're already on that. We're here.
Let's just go in order. Let's just let's talk about our overall game impressions first.
Okay. Should I go first?
Sure, go ahead.
Good. I liked it. I thought it was fun, and I shot people with rocket launchers and shotguns and machine guns, and they died, and it was fun to do that.
I had a ton of fun, obviously barring my technical issues that I started with. I mean, I really loved the game. We only played for like, what, 4 or 5 hours maybe?
Something like that.
I thought that it was frustrating to not know all of the characters when other people had participated in previous betas when I had more of a learning barrier because other people knew more than I did, but that's going to happen in any kind of closed beta environment.
Especially with hero shooters like this, there's a lot of characters and abilities to learn. Like, I'm not even convinced I know all of the even at this point, and I've probably played the largest variety of characters.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. I think like my absolute favorite part of the game was like how vertical it was. I mean, that's the whole design philosophy of the game, kind of. But like in the zero gravity, like at first I thought you had to jump in order to be in zero gravity, but I realized that if you just looked up and started moving, you would basically like swim through the air. And as soon as I realized that was what made the game super fun for me. It was just great.
I mean, my favorite aspect of the game is the zero gravity, but even then, I still feel like it's a little awkward to get your bearings in zero gravity.
Like you're talking about like how it's like, you know, swimming through like the air and the gravity. That was kind of a big problem for me, just because like I also expected it to be spacebar to jump up, and was kind of hoping it was that. But like I have to like look up to be able to do that, and I kind of would prefer to move up while looking down.
Yeah, I mean you can look down and shoot down, and you'd be moving up, but
like to start the motion, I mean.
Right.
Well, you still can. If you're on the ground, you can jump. Yeah.
You can jump. Also, there are certain characters with double, triple, quadruple jumps that are really fun to use in zero gravity.
I think there's some disconnect about how gravity works in zero gravity in that game. Like, it doesn't feel like I don't know, it feels like you have to get used to how that game decides zero gravity works, because I don't feel like it works one-to-one with how you would expect it in real life.
Yeah,
which is fine, but it's just, it has like
gravity.
Well, what?
I don't feel like it's like true zero gravity, because you are still, like, when you aren't moving against it, you are still pulled towards the ground. So it's like ultra low gravity. Like, if you just stop in the zero gravity zones and don't move, you will float towards the ground.
Well, I mean, even from that standpoint, like, even moon gravity doesn't feel like it really works one-to-one how I would expect it. But, yeah. I mean, I think that's just part of the learning curve, and it's fine, but I don't know. I think overall, though, the zero gravity really does lend itself to the game. It makes it way better.
Yeah, and like you were saying, it does like feel really different than how you would expect it. It felt like different than like I expected it from playing it in like other games. I was playing Quake for a while and it worked.
Even like Unreal Tournament,
yeah,
it feels
like
totally
Unreal's
different.
low gravity is just completely. That was what I was expecting, seeing as how closely the game is to Unreal. How close the game is to Unreal. I was expecting it to just be like ultra low grav maps, but no.
Right.
Not even close.
Especially since it is made in the Unreal Engine.
But what I really like about the low gravity zones is how much you can build your momentum. Like, you can go shooting through a low gravity zone with like a massive speed boost, and then once you get out of the low gravity zone, you'll still just be flying across the map. It feels very Tribes, depending on what character you're playing and how well you can build up your momentum.
I also think it really depends on what angle you come out of the the low gravity too, because on some maps I've noticed that like the ones where it kind of ends into a corridor, you have less, like you keep your momentum less through those ones than you would when you drop out of the top of a low gravity zone on some other maps. So it even feels like how you leave the zone also makes it, like, affects your trajectory, so it's really interesting, just getting used to moving in a different way feels...
Yeah, exactly. And I like that it's not the entire game. Like, there are non-low gravity zones, and in fact, non-low gravity zones that you often have to fight over depending on the game mode you're playing. So,
and it really changes.
Classes are better.
Go ahead.
Certain classes are better in low gravity, and certain classes are better out of low gravity. Like, I feel like the Wraith is really good in low gravity because it has 4 jumps that you can just go anywhere with. But
well, that's what I was gonna say too. That your strategy kind of changes a lot based on the low gravity. So even the same character, like I played the assassin a lot, who has like the grappling hook. Grappling hook really affects you completely differently in low gravity. You can sort of swing with it in low gravity, but because your momentum feels so different in the first place in low gravity, like, a lot of times you're better off just pulling the land towards you somewhere, rather than trying to swing the same way you would in outside of low gravity. So, just how you approach things changes based on the presence of low gravity, and it makes, I think it really affects certain maps too, based on how much low gravity there is, like where it's positioned. It's kind of it's really interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
But probably my favorite part is, even though it has these pockets of low gravity, it still feels very much like an arena shooter, despite all of the hero, like the hero shooter concepts, and despite the large presence of low gravity. It really does feel like a
I feel like
an arena shooter the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, low gravity is more of a mechanic of an arena shooter than anything else.
Well, not pocketed the same way that it is in LawBreakers, though. Like usually,
not like being such a big part of it necessarily.
Yeah, usually in most arena shooters, it's like a mutator that you turn on or off. Like, in this, it's like you have pockets. It feels totally different.
I mean, yeah, it feels different, but like, think about Quake and like how much people love Quake because it's kind of like floaty. Like, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's the same like type of deal.
Well,
like,
sure.
Strange movement concepts and skill-based movement is really a staple of arena shooters. You know what I mean?
Well, sure. I'll grant you that. Like, low gravity really did find its home in it, or in classic arena shooters, but I still think the way that they implemented it is completely different from how most arena shooters feel.
Yeah,
so,
the game is like entirely based around it almost.
Yeah. More or less, yeah. So, the next thing we want to touch on is character designs, I guess?
Okay. From a visual standpoint, right?
Right, from a visual standpoint, like the
we
art
don't really know
side
much
of
about
design.
the lore, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty early, but
I'm not convinced there's much more to discover from the beta. I don't know if they're going to like do anything more with it once the full game releases.
Yeah, I've noticed little tidbits here and there, but I don't really know. And considering this is, I want to say, a $40 game, like I'm not even convinced it'll have single player in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$30 and $40 if you get the edition.
Yeah, okay. So it's like almost the same as Overwatch. Oh, like $10 cheaper.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah,
Something
in that
like that.
ballpark.
Now, I don't know if you guys disagree with this, but I actually find the visual design of the characters to be like I think they look really cool when you zoom in and look at them, but like from a standpoint of being able to like tell the difference between characters in the game, I can almost never tell the difference.
Yeah, I think that
Completely agree.
I think that from a distance, your best bet for figuring out what kind of character or what character it is based more on what they're doing than what they look like.
Yeah.
Like,
And by what they're doing, we mean like what gun is being shot at.
well, yeah, I mean, if there's a
Juggernaut.
Titan, you can tell that it's a Titan because they're shooting rockets at you.
Right.
But
Yeah.
in the same way, if you see a Wraith sliding on the floor, then you know it's a Wraith. You know what I mean?
It doesn't help that there's two different people for each class. I feel like silhouette design is kind of important though in a shooter, like in a hero-based shooter especially. Like Team Fortress 2, every single character has very, very distinct silhouettes. And then Overwatch has spent so much time like building up like the actual character of each of the characters that they're all really recognizable. Like,
Well, they
you see
have
how-
I would say that they have very distinct silhouettes as well.
They have pretty distinct, but Lawbreakers, like everybody just looks like Raiden.
Well, I think
Everybody-
I mean I
everybody
wouldn't
looks like-
quite go that far, but
Well,
I think that
Everybody looks like a
Yeah.
cyborg ninja.
I mean,
man.
Well, what I would say everyone looks like is they look like Unreal Man from the Unreal Engine
Yeah.
game.
Okay, that's fair.
no, I think even that is kind of not what the issue is. So here's where I think the actual issue with the silhouettes are, because I mean, you would recognize Marcus Phoenix out of all of these, and Marcus Phoenix more or less is Unreal Man as well.
Yeah,
I think,
alright, yeah, I'd say that.
I think that the real issue with Lawbreakers in particular, and I don't think this is like that big of a problem, but I think the relative scale of everything is smaller.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the characters themselves are less recognizable because they're smaller in game.
Right.
At least that's how it
makes
feels.
sense.
So it's
Yeah,
like
and especially in like the 3D, like three-dimensional environment, shit's going to feel like smaller because of the fucking fact that you're goddamn flying around everywhere. Like
right.
playing Pharah, I can't exactly tell as well on the ground shooting at who I'm shooting at, as well as I can like as Tracer. You know?
Right. Even
I
then
don't know
though,
if everything like how do they manage to make everything relatively smaller though? Like at first I thought it was an FOV thing, but then I realized like I always play with my FOV slider like at least 100.
I think it's relative scale. The character models themselves are bigger.
Yeah.
In games like Overwatch.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might be part of what makes it feel more arena shootery though, because I think a lot of times character models are a bit smaller in arena shooters compared to other examples of hero shooters we've had. So.
Right.
Well, and maybe it's not that. Maybe it's just that the maps are bigger and that you move faster. So
There's a little bit of that.
feels smaller.
Possibly.
I think there's a little bit of that, but I feel like the maps still feel bigger in Overwatch than they do in Lawbreakers, but a lot of it's because you're often so high above it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not convinced that's true. Because in Overwatch, a lot of the maps are like control points and push the cart, so you have to go through a long map and not stop. Like in Lawbreakers, pretty much all of the game modes boil down to your base, the objective, the enemy base. And
Right.
so like most of them are just tug of wars between two bases.
Well, even still,
So they are smaller.
even still though, you can compare the first section of Hanamura to a whole map in Lawbreaker.
Yeah, exactly.
So even then, even if you just take that one section of Overwatch, I would still say the map feels bigger in Overwatch because your character's relative scale to the things feels different than in Lawbreakers.
Okay.
So even the structures that are pretty big in Lawbreakers, like, since you can get so high above them, it like, or way more often than not can see more or less the whole map. Whereas in Overwatch, even Pharah still sees like a lot less of the map than I would say any character does in Lawbreakers.
Yeah, I would say that he like sees like maybe a whole section of the map versus
That makes sense, yeah.
So I would say like the relative scale of the character models to the environment, and then also just the additional effect of being so far above your environment so often, I think really makes everything feel smaller. The hitboxes feel smaller.
Oh, and you guys are gonna hate me for this. I'm just gonna say it out loud. Now. This is my opinion, and this is purely from an absolute visual and absolutely nothing else standpoint at all.
Okay.
I like the visual design of the characters in in Battleborn better than this game.
I don't necessarily hate you for that. I think that in Battleborn they're more varied for sure. This game, a lot of the characters looks very samey.
That's
I think that
it kind of calls back to like they want the characters to look similar to the Law and the Breaker characters to look similar. So there's
I wouldn't even say that. I would say the Gunslinger on the Law looks very similar to, I don't know, the Wraith on the Law, if they're both standing up. Like, just from a distance, it's really hard to tell characters apart. And but like, the benefit of that though is all of the characters have a consistent place where their head kind of is.
Yeah, they have consistent hitboxes, and also like in this game, I don't feel like that's big of like a detriment. Like
no, I definitely feel like it benefits the game to have similar hitboxes. I just think they lose a lot from a character design standpoint because the characters feel very similar. From a visual standpoint.
Here was like my biggest problem. Okay. Anytime that you got close from like as far as character design goes, anytime that you got close to a Juggernaut, you were basically guaranteed to die. They would kill you faster than you could possibly kill them. And even though the Juggernaut is probably the most distinct looking character, because it is a robot, and none of the Juggernaut is a straight up robot with a shotgun. The rest of the characters are like cyborgs, right?
And even then, the Juggernaut on the Breakers, I think even is a robot.
Well, he looks like a robot. Maybe he would do the suit armor. I don't know. But like he looks full robot enough, right?
Well,
the only way I could ever tell their difference is by looking at their health bar and seeing, oh, that guy has 650 health, and the rest of the characters in the game have 300.
I mean, I wasn't even paying attention to health bars personally. I was
I looked at the health bars.
I could tell more easily from the guns they were using, not their health bars.
Well, yeah, but I couldn't tell what gun he was using until I slid into his face and stabbed him, and then took a shotgun blast to the face. That's the only, like, most Juggernauts didn't shoot at me until I got close to them.
But I still think that, overall, because the health pools are closer, there's less variation between health pools. They're different, sure, but
yeah, I think
the difference between, like, Roadhog and Tracer in Overwatch is much wider than even the toughest character compared to the weakest character in LawBreakers, which is really nice for an arena shooter.
Have 300. I think the Juggernaut has 600, and then the next lowest has 400. So, like, it's between 6 and 300.
Right.
And 650, I think, is what the Juggernaut has, which is kind of an outlier, because most of them have between 300 and 400 health.
Right.
The Juggernaut also has a big damage reduction thing that makes his health bar glow, and that's the only reason I noticed it. Like,
that's what I was gonna say,
when he's reducing damage, his health bar glows, and nobody else in the game has, like, even the call attention to their health bar, so that's why I was able to tell Juggernaut apart.
Well, even then, like, I usually only could tell people apart after they but
Yeah.
or if they were far away shooting at me.
Sometimes,
with a
like
particular
at
gun.
first, I couldn't even tell. Here's a criticism. I couldn't even tell people apart after they killed me because it would tell you. It would tell you the gun that they killed you with and the character's name, not the class name. And yes, there was a symbol for what class it was, but at first I didn't know the class symbols, so I didn't even know what class was killing me. And I was like, "Who the hell is Natasha?" That's not even a character name, but I'm like, "Who the hell is Natasha? Why can't they just say assassin?" Oh yeah, "Who the hell is Kitsune? Why can't they just say assassin?"
Well, I think that just comes down to learning the character.
Yeah,
Like, not even the, because the weapons are pretty consistently the same, even across.
yeah.
like-
Different sides have the same weapons.
So, I think that's just a matter of learning more than anything else, because after 5 hours that I've played, I can tell who killed me after I've died. Like, more or less the whole time. So, and even as much criticism as we gave the silhouettes, I can usually tell by looking at silhouette, so.
I mean, that kind of calls back to the everybody has a similar health pool. Like, I don't need, like, I do need to know what they can do, like, to me, but I don't need to know, like, I don't need to, like, if you look at Roadhog, you're like, oh shit, I gotta shoot Roadhog, but I'm not expecting to kill him. As opposed to if you look at, McCree, you're like, oh shit, I gotta shoot McCree and I might kill him. But if you look at any character in this game, like, they all have a very similar health pool, so it's like, you don't know what they're going to pull out to do to you if you don't recognize their class, but you do know that you have a chance of killing them.
Yeah.
Well, every character... What's nice about LawBreakers, way more than Overwatch, I would say, is that you have the potential to kill everyone.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
I mean, Overwatch, don't get me wrong, Overwatch is a very different game. So, like, I mean, we're only comparing these because they're both pro shooters, but
That's
really,
about it, yeah.
really from a nice thing about LawBreakers is that you can more or less kill everyone depending on what you're doing. And certain characters, like, you get to know characters over time. Even, like, sound cues, like, I know that, we'll talk about sound more later, but the Wraith makes, like, a bird's noise every time he uses his dagger. So even if you don't see him yet, if you hear the dagger noise, you know that he's around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we're doing a lot of comparing to Overwatch, and that is a game that we've been playing since it fucking came out and was in beta.
We played that in beta too, yeah.
Yeah. We should. I feel like we should also, because it's still fresh in our minds, do comparing this to Battleborn, which that's a game where you see a character in the game and
completely different though. Like, at least Overwatch is still a shooter. Battleborn is not even a shooter.
I mean, it is, but it isn't. I think it's more comparable to a MOBA, like an actual League of Legends MOBA, than any other hero shooter that I've played.
Yeah. But the thing about Battleborn is you see a character in the game, and you don't have any idea whether you can kill it or not.
I mean, a lot of that probably does come down to learning what the characters do, but a lot of times you can't even see the characters because there's so much crap in the way anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah.
At least in LawBreakers, if you have good eyes, you can tell that Tentacle Man head is the Titan on the Breaker team.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of crap going on in LawBreakers too, especially with the verticality. But it's like you always know what the fuck's going on.
But yeah, it is still way cleaner than Battleborn was at the best of times. So
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So let's move on to weapons, abilities, and kit overall, because we've been talking a lot about the character designs from an art standpoint, but I think that the technical aspects of all the characters are pretty well themed around each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're all pretty solid. Like, okay, here's let me make an observation, unless you have something really important to say.
No, go ahead.
Each of the characters have, they have their gun, which is usually mostly unique to them, right?
One or two.
And then they have their E, which is almost invariably some type of grenade, like in one form or another. Like the battle medics is like a drone she sends out, sure, but it's still like basically a grenade that you throw and it does something. They don't always do the same thing. They almost never do the same thing, but they're usually a grenade. And then they have their shift, which is almost always a movement ability. Yeah. And then they have their ultimate, which is pretty unique.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, each of the ultimates is like the most unique.
But yeah, like E is always some kind of deployable. Shift is always some kind of movement.
I would say their weapons are probably the most distinct parts of them, more so than their.
Yeah, all right. I'd say that. But I would say that the ultimates are still a little bit unique.
The ultimates
yeah, they're more unique than other aspects.
Why don't we start specifics by just like telling everybody what our favorite characters were?
That works too. Well, one thing I was going to say is, like, even just like on a baseline standpoint, we've only played the game for 4 hours, so I still don't know exactly what everyone's kit does, every character in the game's kit does, like, on a general level, but, like I was talking about Battleborn, we couldn't tell who the fuck was doing what, and in this game, like, even if I don't know who's doing what, when I see something, I have a pretty damn good idea of what's going on with it. Like, there's a fucking barrier. I can't shoot through that. That's some sort of wall that I am unable to shoot through. Those are missiles. Run. You know.
Yeah. Well, one thing before we talk about our favorite characters is I'll definitely say that I think the intelligence behind like the way that every character is crafted is like really cool. Every idea on every character is more or less really creative. Like,
yeah,
there's some things that I feel like it's never occurred to me that could be like paired up the way it is. My biggest example of that is the gunslinger. Like, it never really occurred to me that you could have two distinct weapons, one that is controlled through your left click and one that's controlled through your right click, and have those separately like track ammo, be completely different weapons in the first place. Like I really love that.
Other games have done it before, like Halo has, right?
Well, here's the difference.
Halo 2 did dual wielding like that.
Yeah, dual wield. I mean, yes, but I think that not in the same way. Like the way that I guess because each character has a unique loadout.
Right.
Like
this guy having that makes him feel special compared to the rest of the cast.
Right, and it changes how you have to think about your weapons. Because, like, in Halo, yes, you could have an SMG and a pistol at the same time, but they were both just guns. Like, they both did the same kind of thing. Like, and the, the other guns that were, like, big guns still took up both hands, so, like... I don't know. Just having a pretty close to medium range auto pistol in your left hand and a like essentially sniper pistol in your right hand, and having to kind of mentally think about what you need to use when, like what range it's effective at, how much ammo you have for each of them. It's kind of like a gameplay experience that I kind of really have never thought about before, and I really like it. The Gunslinger is not my favorite character, but it's easily my favorite character design.
It was like really fucking cool. I completely agree with all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty nifty. I do enjoy that. Yeah. My favorite character to play as was the Wraith. Like hands down. I kept wanting to try the other characters, but like I just kept going back to the Wraith. And I think he might be a little bit strong. I feel like his melee attack is like really...
I feel like from what I've played of him, I think he has too much going for him. Both his melee attack is really strong. It propels you forward a little bit. Your gun is really strong. But so I think he could probably be toned down, but his overall gameplay loop just feels really good.
Oh yeah. Like my favorite part about him is the quadruple jump he has. It's the fact that you can get into even a non-anti-gravity zone and basically just fly around the map. And then if you if you jump off of a wall, you reset to another double jump. So you can like jump back and forth between walls like fucking Mario on the Switch. It's so fun.
That's the funny thing that I thought about when we were talking about that character. You said earlier that you really enjoyed him in anti-gravity because you feel like you're so mobile in anti-gravity. Where I felt totally the opposite. I felt way more mobile in normal gravity.
Well, like if you angled yourself, your double jump could propel you forward or down, like depending on the direction you were looking. So like if I just got up into the air in anti-gravity and looked down, I would quadruple jump and just like fly forward through the air like a squid, you know?
Right.
And so like that was what I found really entertaining about him in anti-gravity. But even in like he has like different mobility in anti-gravity and gravity zones.
Right.
Like in anti-gravity, it's borderline impossible to use his slide. He can like slide along the ground for a good like 30 feet or something. So like the way that you play him there feels a lot like Tribes. Like you slide along the ground and you just quadruple jump, and then once you hit the ground again, you slide again because it's such a short cooldown.
I definitely enjoyed sliding in normal gravity, or I enjoyed playing him more in normal gravity for sure because I did like that slide so much. And even then, like he's the only one who has that movement ability, and it feels really good. So it makes him just fun to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like kind of whittling people down with your gun and then sliding in to knife them is really fun.
Very satisfying too.
It is. The problem that I experienced while playing him often was if I was sliding into somebody to knife them, they would just boot me in the face before my knife came out. Like I think the boot melee attack is faster than the Wraith's knife, so if you're low enough on health, the boot will kill you before you can knife them.
Really? I never felt that way at all. I felt like
I felt like that every time that I was low on health. Like, people would try to boot me away when I wasn't low on health, and I would get knocked back, but I would still kill them. But if I was low enough, they would kill me, and I wouldn't knife them.
Yeah, well, I always felt with him that if I was not at full health, I should be going to a health station. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's with every character, but I mean, like when, you know...
Well, I mean, him in particular, because he feels so squishy, even if his health pool is that much smaller.
Like that different, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. Like, he was hands down my favorite character, and it all came down to mobility.
Yeah, I think that's part of why he's so strong, too, because his gun is so good, and you have all that mobility, he's very versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, anybody under half health, you can basically execute with your knife. And if you don't kill them with your knife, you still have a boot melee attack that comes out instantly. And he has 2 separate melee attacks.
And even then, I'll usually just stab him anyway.
Yeah.
A second time. Like, because I feel like you get so much momentum from using your knife.
Oh, that's the other thing about his knife. That's really fucking fun. Every time you get a knife kill, no matter who it's on, they explode into bloody chunks.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I really love the gibbing.
They even make a noise.
I really love the gibbing in this game, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of blood, shit ton of gore. Good shit.
That's great. Oh, yeah.
Jack Thompson, hide your wife.
So, Thel, your favorite character, can I guess?
Oh, go right the fuck ahead.
Is it the Titan?
It is the Titan. I really like the Titan. The Titan was fun. Has rocket launcher, shoots people with rocket launcher, like rocket launcher, love rocket launcher in a fucking Unreal Tournament like.
Unreal Tournament like.
Yeah, I like the Titan, and I also did like the Juggernaut a lot, who we thought was really overpowered at the beginning, and I'm not convinced that he's not.
And then, like, everybody who played him but me proved that theory right.
Yeah, because I constantly got, like I would get, every time I would, like, play him the entire game, I would get, like, MVP just by existing. His knife is, I think, better than, like, the, fucking, like...
Well, the Wraith is designed around his knife, and the Juggernaut's fucking
not, and I feel like
his more damage.
Yeah.
Well, his knife still does like more than half of most people's health. It's also really satisfying to kill.
Yeah,
it comes out really fast after the shotgun. That's the problem. It's
Yeah,
like, shotgun knife, and it's like that's a one shot. It's the same shit as like a Roadhog hook into melee attack and shotgun blast. Like,
yeah, and that is kind of annoying. I do think that he's also maybe a little bit overpowered. I didn't have that feeling with the Titan, even though she has a fucking rocket launcher. But I feel like she can be really, really, really good if you use her kit right, and I really do like that. Like, if you throw a fucking grenade into the middle of, like, 3 people and then just fire rockets at the grenade, because her grenade, like, sort of does a, like, mini little Zarya just pulls people towards it.
Right.
Just fucking fire rockets in that, you can get, like, a triple kill easy.
I never felt that. Like, I read the ability, and the ability said that it slowed people who got near it.
Oh, really?
I never saw... Yeah, I never saw people get pulled into it, but you kept saying that, so I feel like...
I mean, that's what it felt like it did. Maybe it just slowed people. Anyway about it, like, if you throw it near people, and just fired near where you put the grenade, it kills people. Or if you do,
I would
like,
have
your
to
shift, which is like, you know, a jump slam. And
I'd have to experiment more. I actually also really liked the Titan. I played the Titan a lot today by myself. I'm not a fan of her shift, her movement ability, because I feel like it doesn't feel very mobile. It feels like an attack.
Well, it
feels
is an
like
attack. It absolutely, it'll like kill anyone at half health.
Whereas I think most people have like some form of utility with that. She doesn't really feel like she has the same utility. But even then, she feels really fun to play. Like, the rocket launcher is still really satisfying, even if it feels like it might do less damage than it would in similar games.
Yeah.
But I don't really know. And it's also super fun to hold control and rocket behind you as you propel yourself.
Yeah. Like, she has kind of, she's really slow in, you know, low gravity, but she has a rocket launcher that's really, really, really useful in low gravity. And it's not, well, in like, regular gravity, she's really, really slow and has a rocket launcher that's really good there. But in low gravity, she's actually, like, the opposite, where she's really, really fast and the rocket launcher doesn't do much, but her secondary weapon is really good if you get up close.
Right.
So
And the rocket launcher, I think, propels her like more than other characters' guns.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. She's super fast.
Well,
yeah.
I think that the Enforcer actually still faster because he has like an assault rifle.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But
that might be true.
Because I've tried both of them and I feel like faster, but
yeah.
At least with okay, so this is something that occurred to me now. Okay, so earlier when you said that everybody has like a grenade on their E, I never really realized that, or more or less a grenade. Some have like the barrier wall or whatever. I never really noticed that, but I think that it's kind of like the grenades don't really feel like they do that they're that influential in the same way that their other abilities do. So maybe that is like one weakness of some of the characters. Some characters, like the ones that, like the shield wall thing that one guy can do, is definitely influences a lot. Where I feel it's like other characters, I don't even know what their E's do.
Yeah.
And there's no visual difference between them. Well, there is, but it's not super distinct between characters.
Like playing the Juggernaut, I deployed his shield, blocked off one character from like the rest of the team, and just put my shotgun in his mouth.
Yeah, you can do that pretty easily with that character.
Yeah. That's
or
a lot of fun.
Or like stop someone from chasing you.
When I was playing the Juggernaut in one map, it was like really open, and I just could not catch everybody. And I was like, "This character fucking sucks. What are you guys talking about?" Then I played him in the next map, and it was a hallway map, and it was like just fucking insane. Like there was a point where I literally 3v1'd people just by I shot a guy, hit him, shot a guy, hit him, shot a guy, hit him, like, and killed all 3 of them who were coming to me completely alone. Like, it was ridiculous.
So maybe he's just I don't know. I think like at his best of times it feels really rough to fight him. But at his worst of time, like from a distance, I guess is probably.
Yeah,
I don't know,
he's,
though,
like,
I mean...
super weak at a distance.
It's really hard for me to tell at this point whether or not characters are that unbalanced. But certain characters definitely feel more unbalanced than others.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to say.
Yeah. Speaking of, like, yeah, like, getting a bunch of kills, another reason that I really like the Titan is, her ultimates is really, really good.
Which one is that?
The Force Lightning.
Fucking she turns into Emperor Palpatine.
It's really hilarious when she does that, because she just... I don't know.
I don't know,
everyone.
man. I've never gotten a good use out of that ultimate.
I feel like every time I've used it, I get 2 or 3.
Yeah,
I feel like
I feel like
that ultimate is identical to the Gunslinger's ultimate. Like it's just the same thing, except with a different skin.
I don't think so. It's more. I also really like the Gunslinger's ultimate, but the Gunslinger's ultimate you still have to pay attention to projectile speed. Because he shoots projectiles, he does not shoot, like, hit scan
Well, sure, but
abilities.
the projectiles are constant, so...
Well, sure, but it still makes you use it differently, so I wouldn't say it's exactly the same.
Yeah. It's not
hers
like
is definitely a hit scan.
It's not like you just click and remove their soul from their fucking body almost immediately.
Also, I keep saying her, referring to the Titan. The blah for the Titan is a female, but not the breaker side. And we played Law like 95% of the time for some reason.
Yeah, he was so weird. We were always playing as the cops. I don't know why. Maybe the game just took a look at like our existence and was like, yes, these people are people who like to fight as the policemen. Let's make them the police. They don't want to fucking steal shit. They want to stop the bad guys. They got pissed off at fucking Payday and all its DLC.
I thought it was really weird, but I like the designs of most of the Law better than most of the Breakers anyway, so...
Yeah,
I sort of agree. I definitely like the Titan in
I think the Titan on the Breaker is probably the most interesting on the Breaker side.
Yeah.
Kitsune for Assassin is also...
I don't know, I love Bombshell. She's great. She's so much fun to play.
She has the dumbest name, though.
She does.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Also,
I mean, I'm not going to deny.
Also, when people were saying that Zarya is kind of a stereotypical character, Bombshell really feels like a stereotypical
It's
character.
me, the Cajun lady out here killing all these motherfuckers with my big-ass rocket launcher. I'm Butch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
it really felt like that.
Bombshell.
Bombshell. C-H.
I mean, yeah, but the Wraith is just like, I'm gonna revel in blood. It's me, Jack the Ripper.
Really? That's the impression you got? I got a totally different impression from him. He cracks jokes and stuff every time you kill people. He's hilarious.
I mean, yeah, but they're edgy jokes.
They're not edgy jokes.
Yes, they are.
Well, the Titan on the LawBreakers team, I sort of got the impression that his character was...
He's like...
And that was the character.
Yeah, he's like the Mask from, the Three Musketeers or whatever.
Yeah, just big, angry... He's like Bane from the comics, except without, you know, the personality of the Mexican.
Well, I think the comic Bane is... I think you're thinking of a different Bane, but let's move on.
The character... Oh, yeah. The difference between the Juggernauts is really interesting. The Law Juggernaut is just RoboCop, and the Breaker Juggernaut is RoboCop, but with fun installed.
So my favorite character was the Assassin, because I think the grappling hook is the funnest thing in the game. I don't know, just... It feels really good to hook a point and pull yourself to it, and then stab people 3 times with your sword to kill them. Like, I don't know. Her combo does a lot of damage. If you can hit them with the 3rd hit, it almost always will kill you.
Yeah, I mean, if you can survive long enough.
Well, I typically do.
I don't know how. I'm mystified. I tried the Assassin a few times, like, I could not get a single kill on her because I could like slash and then people would turn around, back up, and kill me with their long-range, fancy, high-tech weaponry.
I don't know. I totally got a different impression. I feel like the assassin was one of the easiest characters to kill people with for me.
It's weird.
I mean, it was like you kill one person, go to the health shrine, kill one person, go back to the health. I don't even know what it's called.
Well, every time I saw an assassin on the enemy team, she would jump around me. Like, this is how I described it. She would jump around me in circles like a WoW PvPer. Like,
so here's the thing with the assassin. She gets a double jump and she has 3 dashes. Or you can use those dashes to grappling hook. So her resources, if you see... I don't know, I typically like to lean more heavily on the grappling hook, but you can also dash with dash. So...
I think it might be like a
But they use the same pool.
I think it might be a tracer type of thing where you have to be really good at doing a complete 180 as fast as possible before they can track you.
I mean, you do have to kind of get used to also rotating around them while you're slashing with your swords.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I found her pretty
speaking
easy.
Of like tracer and stuff, I do feel like I definitely need to play like more of this game because I didn't play any of the really mobile characters. Just because I kind of like to
the
play,
gunslinger is like really close to tracer, but also...
I did play the gunslinger a little bit. I meant like the sort of like assassin character.
He's like the gunslinger if McCree was the... Or he's like the Tracer if McCree was Tracer.
Yeah, it's like if McCree and Tracer fucking had a baby. Like,
yeah.
Wow, holy shit, Tracer's a lesbian?
I don't care. It's like if...
Yeah, maybe she had a baby with McCree and then that's what turned her lesbian.
Yeah, maybe McCree is just one of those... Maybe they were one of those natural birth couples, you know, and they wanted to have a baby. From America.
yeah. So Emily, I think we're going to need a surrogate. I have someone in mind. Oh, it's me, baby.
Name's McCree.
And Tracer's just like, well, McCree is the least ugly, so I'll go with him.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, why him though? Well, I mean, there are alternatives.
Because I thought it was really funny the one time I told him I warm beer.
well, what are the alternatives? Hi there, how you guys doing?
All right, here in our LawBreakers review, we crack jokes about Overwatch.
And then Winston's just sitting there looking sad and dejected.
Listen, I can't even donate sperm. I don't even know what you're doing here. I'm a monkey. It doesn't work.
Moving on.
We tried.
So yeah, the assassin is my favorite. I'm not gonna say that she's my best character. She's not, but she's definitely the most fun, and on Blitzball, she's ridiculous.
I really enjoyed the Wraith, and he's definitely my best character. The character that was most interesting that I want to learn is the Gunslinger, but I'm bad at him. Like, extraordinarily bad at him.
I feel like I have to be in the zone to play the Gunslinger, which happens in this game. I really love getting...
It's
way more than Overwatch. Definitely. I feel like in Overwatch has a lot of downtime. This game really doesn't. So it's easier to maintain flow in this game.
Yeah.
Like that, I think that describes it. Like we were just talking about him being similar to Tracer and McCree at the same time. I cannot play McCree for the life of me unless I am like dead focused. And I feel like I was getting some decent kills with the Gunslinger when I was like really focusing hard. But
I feel like the Gunslinger is a lot easier for me to play than McCree is. I don't know why. It probably is the flow thing. Like after a few hours, man, LawBreakers is definitely one of those games you could probably only play in like 3 or 4 hour sessions at most. Yeah, because it takes such a mental toll.
Yeah, it does get exhausting. Yeah,
definitely.
So
and my favorite character was Bombshell, fucking
specifically the Law side of the Titan.
Yeah, specifically the Law version of it. She's fun. I love playing as big Cajun lesbian Emperor Palpatine. It's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So speaking of Blitzball, let's talk about some of the game modes.
Should we just explain which ones there are first off?
From memory, if we can remember.
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's start with Blitzball. This one probably feels the most unbalanced of all of them.
Yeah.
I enjoy it because I play a character who's good at Blitzball, but definitely it's like there are like 2 or 3 characters that really stand out in Blitzball, and the rest are kind of garbage.
We just discussed this. My favorite character is the Wraith. The Wraith is the king of Blitzball. No other class competes to the point where...
except for the Assassin.
Except for the Assassin, who is also the king of Blitzball. It was to the point where, like,
the king and
most
queen.
of the time, when you got into a Blitzball match, the winning team on the end screen would literally be 5 Wraiths, or like 4 Wraiths and an Assassin. Like, most of the time.
Well, I think
wasn't
that...
like a fluke. This was a significant
okay,
portion.
hold on. Before you, like, completely... I don't completely agree with that. Because I think that if you do have a team that's relatively split, you can have people who are protecting the ball better. Because one thing I noticed is when you were 5v5 Wraiths and Assassins only, what would happen is it would just be stolen over and over again before people could turn it in.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. The problem is, if you don't have characters that get the ball fast enough, they're just gonna get it and dunk it in before you can kill them. That's always the problem in every capture the flag game mode ever. Like, Tribes is okay with that because that's the whole point of the game, is just to dunk the flag really fast.
I don't agree that Blitzball was that much like capture the flag though.
Like, the one saving grace that it has is that you have to stand still to pick up the ball. Like, you have to... There's like this shield over the ball. You have to stand near it to break the shield, and then you can grab the ball once the shield is broken.
Yeah, I don't completely agree.
But as soon as you touch the enemy base, you have scored a point. The moment you do it.
Yeah.
So once you get the ball, if you just never fight anybody and use your super speed abilities to go to the enemy base, you've scored a point. Like,
yeah, I think Blitzball would be better in general if you did have to, like, charge up turning in the ball. Yeah. Like, because I wouldn't say it's like capture the flag. It's actually a lot more like plant the bomb.
Even if you have to stand on it for like 1 second, 2 seconds.
I would say 3 seconds would be the kind of the sweet spot, because that means you would have to either get there so fast that no one else was able to follow you, or
you would actually
someone protected you while you were turning it in. Which I think both are fine. It's just like the relative risk of just dashing to the score point is too easy.
Yeah.
It's way too easy in Blitzball.
Well, like that is the core. Like, okay, anybody watching doesn't know this, but I can't stand capture the flag in any game mode, and that. Like, the problem with Blitzball, except Tribes, but that's because it's the only game mode.
Yeah, basically.
The core of what it comes down to, especially in, like, class-based capture the flag games, is in every other type of game mode, usually you make a well-rounded team and you have to do multiple things to win. In capture the flag, you bum rush the flag with whatever character is the fastest, and then bum rush the turn-in point with whatever character is the fastest. And that's how it is in Blitzball, too. Like, you just bum rush the turn-in point with your fast character.
Well, I think it makes sense that you would want the fast character to hold the ball, but I think that what a turn-in timer would fix would be you have to actually be with teammates to actually turn it in. Yeah, so I don't think that's an issue with I think that's an issue with plant the bomb. I don't think that's just a general issue with capture the flag. And actually, this is more like plant the bomb than capture the flag anyway, because you're taking it to their base. So actually, you have to move into danger to turn it in.
I feel like it's not. I don't know. Like with plant the bomb, you plant the bomb, it stays there. They have to disarm it. Like it changes for like plant the bomb.
I'm not talking about Counter-Strike Plant the Bomb, talking about Halo Plant the Bomb.
Oh, okay, because I was like, wait, what?
No, no,
yeah. I was a little confused.
The difference between Plant the Bomb and Capture the Flag in Halo is that in Halo, if it's well, there's two. I mean, there's like a neutral bomb or 2 bombs, but whatever. So you capture the bomb, probably in the middle if in a neutral game, and then you take it to their base. You use a thing on 3 seconds, and then you plant the bomb. Then as soon as the bomb's planted, you get the point. So like, the difference between that and Capture the Flag is completely different, because in Plant the Bomb, you're moving into relative danger because the enemy team could be standing by the goal.
Yeah,
and maybe that's what people were missing in Plant the Bomb, was that they didn't leave enough people to protect their goal or something, but like, it was still so easy to just touch the thing anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if there's people standing there defending, because if you're playing one of the very fast characters, like especially the Wraith, like you get to the thing, you see the turn-in spot, and then you just hit shift and slide into it.
At the same time, though, time to kill is really quick in LawBreakers, so a lot of characters could probably kill the Wraith or the Assassin out there. If someone was already standing there. I think that maybe part of the problem was just that, like,
defenders.
Yeah, no one was really trying to defend, as we were playing really, like, level 10s and down. So maybe that's part of the problem. But like, I do think that having some time counter to plant or to like turn in the goal would help
make it better. Yeah.
So I think that felt like the least balanced mode, easily.
Yeah, for sure. And like there are 2 other modes that are basically the exact same. Modes. Yeah, 3 other modes. 2 of these modes are basically like very close to the same thing. It's just like the way that you charge the thing is different. The battery and the uplink mode.
Yeah, let's talk about uplink next. And actually, yeah, and the uplink and the battery one, well, actually they are a little bit distinct. So let's talk about uplink first.
Okay.
So uplink, there is still like a neutral uplink thing that you pick up in the middle of the map. And again, like the blitzball, you have to stand on it to break the shield.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think someone has to be standing on it. It's not just a timer, right?
Yeah, somebody has to be standing on it. Yes. It doesn't matter who's standing. Like, if the enemy breaks the shield, then anybody can pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so if people are sitting there fighting over it, the shield will break, and then anybody can pick it up.
Yeah, it's not like a blade. It's just like, okay, it's done now. You guys can fucking pick it up.
Yeah.
So in uplink, you take it back to your base, and you have to protect it. And then it's, like, over time, you're scoring points, I think. Is that what the difference of uplink is?
Over time, okay, here's the difference between uplink and battery. With uplink, you bring the thing to your base, and your base charges up. In battery, you bring the battery to your base, and the battery charges up. Okay. So, if they steal the uplink from you, then they have to start from 0. But if they steal the battery from you, then they start with however far you charge the battery.
Right.
Whoever has the battery when it's at 100% wins. Whereas with the uplink, you have to start from 0 each.
Here's the other difference with battery that I noticed. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the more that your battery charges, the more of an anti-gravity field the battery produces. So when it's at 100%, your whole base is anti-gravity.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that produced an anti-gravity field.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until I was playing on my own, but like, it actually does make those modes pretty different, because at the end, like, you're fighting an anti-gravity, like, while trying to plant it and stuff. Very weird. I don't think it does anti-gravity when you're holding the battery, just when it's in the thing.
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
I like both of those game modes a lot.
I do too.
I find them a lot better than Blitz. Sure.
They're definitely my favorite modes. Like, they're the distinct modes from this game.
Yeah, I definitely love those too. Mostly because you can sit there and defend the fucking battery and the uplink, and I'm really good at that because that's usually in a non-anti-grav zone, and I can just shoot people with rockets and they die.
And some maps are better than others for that.
Yeah.
I like my here's my Are we done with uplink and battery?
No, well.
Okay, well, like, what I wanted to say was I like uplink and battery more so than control points too, because that has some problems. But
I think
spoilers.
that you have more.
Well, let's just move.
Okay.
I actually like. Okay. Here's the thing. It's not control points so much as it is like territory. Territories being the game mode in
multiple kings
in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the mode even called? Turf War. Yeah. In Turf War, the cool thing about Turf War is once you capture the point, you can.
Yeah.
In control points, you have to sit there and protect it.
Yeah.
So it's often it can just turn into a race of who can tag the enemy's team when the other team isn't there. But if
I kind of like,
people go to each point, it's not so bad.
Yeah. The thing is, like, if you spread yourselves too thin, then you're going to lose all of the points. If you focus too much on one point, then you're going to lose 2 points, which loses you the game. So basically you have to pick 2 points and control them all the time. And if you get the 3rd point, then okay, that's cool. It's a bonus.
I think that okay, this is how it usually seems to kind of play out in Turf War, from what I've seen, at least in LawBreakers. B is always the one that people are fighting over, and A and C are the ones that one person will go to. And so if you kind of pay attention to that, you can sort of game it to be one person contesting the midpoint while 2 take each of the side ones. Or you can just play it straight if you're confident that you can beat the other team in B. Or you can just give up B and then slowly increment your way in A and C, but then you put yourself at risk of being attacked by people who are respawning.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the reason that I really do also like this mode is because I was a big back-capping faggot as Scout, and I can be that again in this game, and it's great.
I actually like it better than classic control points, especially in stuff like TF2. I feel like the fact that it locks changes it.
Yeah, I like the fact that it locks, but I, at the same time, like, I don't know, I just don't like the, like...
You just don't like King of the Hill.
Yeah, I don't really like King of the Hill. It's certainly better than Capture the Flag, though.
The one thing I would prefer from Turf War, though, is if the maps were a little bit bigger and it had rotating points.
Yeah.
I don't really like that the points are always in the same spot.
Yeah, well, and not only that, but like every time like what it does is like the points once all of the points are captured, it'll like shut down for a number of seconds, and like you're still just standing on the fucking point. Like it doesn't even do the thing in Overwatch where it's like, okay, the point is captured, everyone go back to your spawns. It's like you're still just fucking sitting there, and that was a little bit jarring to me. I was like, wait, is the game gonna let me do this?
But at the same
time, let me stay here?
At the same time, though, by you staying, like especially back capping, then it means you might lose mid because they're outnumbered there. So it does create an interesting amount of like strategy and counterplay, but I do think that if it was rotating, it would keep people on their toes more instead of just hanging out.
Right.
And especially in an arena shooter, standing still doesn't feel as good.
Yeah. And it's really weird. There's like, I feel like one of the detriments to the game is like, and this might be solved if it was like rotating like different points throughout the map, is that there is a point in the middle, and there is a point next to your base and a point next to the enemy base, and you can almost usually assume that the enemy will ignore the point next to the enemy base, and you will ignore your point for a minute, which is weird.
Unless they don't.
Yeah, unless they decide not to. And in which case, there's maybe 1 or 2 people, and you can just go over there and shoot them with your rocket launcher or Palpatine instead. At least in my experience.
Right. But I think that is probably just a effect of the game being new, more so than anything else. It would be better to see how that turns out after everyone's a little bit more experienced with the game, because
once everyone develops a meta that you have to follow or else get banned.
Well, not even necessarily. I don't know even about that really.
Like
It's just like, people just, for one thing, a lot of times I forget I have an ultimate in that game. Because it feels like it feels like very close to a pure arena shooter that I often forget that I have an ultimate.
I love that, it's so good.
The only ultimate that I remember is the Battle Medics. I don't even remember the Wraith's ultimate, despite me like him being my favorite character.
He has one of the least interesting ones. He just has a slow that he.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
The assassin has like a damage buff, I think. It does damage when you activate it, and then I think it makes you do bonus damage for a little while. The Titan is Palpatine. The Enforcer, which is like the assault rifle dude, has like little Predator rockets on his shoulder.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Just the concept of that is probably more fun than actually
I feel like that ult is really, really strong though, because it is basically a guaranteed kill.
Yeah, more or less. I don't think it does a full health bar for one rocket, but yeah.
I mean, it'll shoot 5 rockets if you walk onto one person, though.
Yeah, but still, if there's like 2 or 3, like, maybe you won't kill one. I don't know. There's...
It's high from above.
Yeah, the gunslinger gets, his pistols turn into, like, super pistols. If he just does more damage.
He starts, basically he turns into Extra Tracer.
Yeah, except he can't not shoot while that's happening. So you have to, like, be ready to have a constant stream of shooting, so if they hide or something.
The first time that I was playing him, I was in 0 gravity, and I activated the ult and tried to shoot at people, like, under me, and I just, like, started flying upwards, and I was like, oh god!
So yeah, I don't know. They are kind of distinct, but I think a lot of people, myself included, just forget that this game has ultimates. So, because they don't feel... They're strong, for sure, but they don't feel nearly as impactful in something like Overwatch.
Oh, except the Juggernaut does not have an ultimate. He just
technically, yeah, basically.
He uses his fuel gauge, which he also uses to sprint in order to gain, like, 90% damage reduction. Or something.
I mean, that might as well be a fucking ultimate.
It's for a long-ass time.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, oh my god. That's why we think this guy is retarded, because he has, like...
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's hard to tell, but yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I'm not totally sure he's like super overpowered. We thought he was really overpowered in the beginning. Like when we first started playing, because he was just shredding, and then like we played him and we were shredding on him, and everyone who played him was shredding as him. Maybe it's like people got better with the other characters. Like he has like a really, really, really low skill.
He's not very mobile either. I think that's his biggest weakness. Most characters at a range can kill him relatively. Or if you're the assassin and you can get behind him, then you can kill him pretty quick. I don't know. And then also this game has headshots in it, so a lot of characters, if you're good at aiming, kill them pretty headshots.
Yeah, but it's really hard to get a headshot because calling back to what
well, yeah, the relative scale models and the hitboxes are a lot smaller, but at the same time, because they're all in relatively the same place, you can sort of just same place. I don't know. It's different, but
yeah.
I think we said all the game modes, right?
We did.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
like a secret game mode we're forgetting.
So, I don't think there's a game.
Did anybody see that? That was awesome.
It doesn't have deathmatch or anything.
Yeah, it doesn't have battle deathmatch. Which is kind of weird.
It does?
I would almost think. No, yeah, it doesn't.
I would think that in like an Unreal style game of all things.
Like even if this is like a hero shooter, I feel like a deathmatch would work. Okay.
I don't know.
Like a team deathmatch, I mean.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't know. So I mean, it's hard to say because like. I don't know, like, even Unreal Tournament had, like, deathmatch and team deathmatch is probably what a lot of people remember playing, but back when it was, like, a soft esport, it was, Assault and Capture the Flag that were the game modes that everyone played, kind of.
Because those were, like, games.
Those were, like, the official game modes. that you played at tournaments.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just what's happening, that LawBreakers wants to focus more on, like, those kind of things, because obviously they're probably harder to balance around, right?
Yeah.
Or, like, even things like Blitzball, which Blitzball was the new game type in this mode, by the way, or in this beta.
I did not know
So,
that kind of explains it.
Yeah, so they might just not have really thought all of the mechanics through before that. But yeah, so maybe Team Deathmatch and Deathmatch is coming, it's just not out yet, because that's not what they care about testing.
Yeah, maybe. Like,
So,
Maybe they're like, well, okay, just general balance is
all
basically
you,
what's going to
you have to do is balance the characters, and then Team Deathmatch is balance, whereas different game modes.
yeah, you have to think about how the characters also interact with the mechanics of the game. Like, for instance, if you have a grappling hook that you can usually pull yourself to the enemy goal and hooks, so...
Or like a quadruple jump that can propel you so far that nobody can possibly catch up with you.
So, maps. I think that it was... Okay, my first impressions of the maps were there were very wildly varying in quality.
Oh, yeah.
I thought certain maps were really good, and other maps I absolutely hated. My favorite map is the one that has the 2 large bases that they usually use for uplink and battery.
Yeah.
My least favorite map is the one where they have that weird egg in the middle.
Yeah, the big moon thing in the middle that like has like the blitz ball and the uplink in it.
I think-
Absolutely agreed, 110%. Hate that map, it's the worst.
I think that I completely agree with your assessment. Like, that's exactly what I like and dislike, the maps that I like and dislike, but I think that the reason that I hate the egg map so much is because most of the time we played on it, we were playing Blitzball.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
Nah,
And, like,
I also,
the base
I mean,
was
I
really
also
easy to
remember...
get into.
I also remember playing Turf War on that one, which sucked. Because point B was the egg. Which sucked.
Well, the difference between like those two, like that map and like the rest of the maps are the big moon map is the objective is in like this tiny little hole where with like one entrance, whereas like the rest of the maps they have like this big wide open space where it is.
I mean, you
like,
can kind of stand under the egg too.
I mean, yeah, I guess a little bit.
I mean, it just feels... I don't like it. And I feel like the distribution of how much 0G is really weird on that map.
Yeah.
Because it covers some of the entrances, but not all of them, so you can kind of be in the area without being in 0G, but you can also, like, not. So... Also, I don't really like when the maps have roofs you can't stand on.
Yeah.
Because that's another one where you can easily go well above the tops of the buildings, and then if you're standing there or too close to the edge, they start shooting at you, which is annoying. Whereas in the most other maps, it's just the edges. If you get too far to the edges, you die. So I don't know. Just that map, I don't know if it's just me. Well, obviously, it's all 3 of us kind of agree on that, but I just feel like I'd like them to change that map. I don't know.
And for some reason, I almost feel like it, all of the maps like sort of feel like there's this big ass fucking place that is anti-gravity that you go into, and then like the other half of the map or like stretched across the rest of the map, maybe around, like there's this big blob of anti-gravity and then like just this stretch of fucking non-anti-gravity places. I feel like almost in that map it's like anti-gravity or bust. Like,
well, I feel like
that's it.
There's actually a pretty small pocket of anti-gravity on that map compared to other ones. Like most maps have large chunks of anti-gravity, and that one's only in that like weird center circle thing. But it's also like next to the things that shoot you if you're near them, and next to the things that, and like not all of the doorways are covered by anti-gravity. So I don't know. It's just really.
It's a weird map.
Yeah.
There's 2 other maps. There's one that has that circular, like,
3
building thing, and then there's the one that has that square like rectangle that like the outside snowy area is anti-gravity.
There's also that like fully inside facility.
Oh yeah,
map.
the inside map. I actually really like that map, but
yeah, that one was fun, but I could not navigate it for the life.
yeah, you guys didn't know where point B was for most of that game.
Yeah, that's why I just went to point C the whole game.
Yeah, and I just defended point A the whole game.
And I fought on point B because I was the only one who could find it, I guess.
And that's how we won that game. We shut them the fuck out.
The thing I really like about that map, though, is it's designed really interestingly because so you can think of it in 2 layers, right? The first layer was pretty much all corridors and no anti-gravity.
Right.
Whereas and then point B was like this large half dome room that was all anti-gravity. So it was like, I don't know, I really liked the design of that one. We only played it a couple times, and I don't think it, like, as a map it was the best, but it was definitely like an interesting design choice. Whereas I feel like other ones I had more strong feelings about, like, being either a good map or being the worst map in the set, so...
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I get you. I really like, it was the first map we played on. It's got this, like, big tower thing in the dead center of it. Like, it's just 2 little grassy areas on either side, and then there's this big tower thing in the middle. That's all anti-grav. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it the one with the circular, like, elevated circular platform?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
That's the tower I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the one that
really
I mentioned.
Liked that map. Yeah.
I actually like that map a lot, too. Because it has a large, like, very vertical room that is anti-grav.
Yeah.
That one also has the problem of if you get too close to the tops of the buildings, they'll shoot you, but it's not as bad.
Yeah. That was actually how I died when I was talking about I was talking about the first time I played the gunslinger and used his ult. That was how I died. I propelled myself too far out of the map and the turret shot me.
Into the gun zone.
Yeah,
so I think that most maps it's okay. I don't like it on the egg map because it feels really close to where you need to be in the air, so I don't know. I keep calling it the egg map, but it's that weird, like, globe map.
It's the
one with fucking Epcot in the middle,
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. That is actually the real Epcot globe, and all of the characters that are fighting are actually giants.
That's that's the real Epcot globe. You see, in this dystopian land that this sort of creates, the LawBreakers stole that, and the
okay, let's not make up stories about the lore we don't know or understand.
Yeah, well, there is no lore, so we can just make up whatever we want, my dude.
Plus, I think everyone's in outer space. I don't even know if any of it's on.
Yeah, the space aliens stole the Epcot globe.
The
shrink
space
ray
criminal. Fucking, like, we're like, oh, this is too heavy, we can't fucking, how are we gonna steal it from Walt Disney? And then, meanwhile, Bombshell and her thing is, like, having fond memories of going to Disneyland with her. I sure remember going to Disneyland when I was a kid. Those bastards took the Epcot globe. We have to stop them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
That's how it happened.
So this one I have pretty mixed feelings about. The UI, the heads-up display, the options menu, and stuff like that. So, first things first, it was in beta, so the matchmaking was not great. It kept dropping us out. It would just say, like, server error and then dump us, but maybe not always. Like,
or
at least once
server error and dump one of us.
Yeah, at least once it dumped 2 of us, and one of us got matched into a match without the other 2.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to leave queue. Like, I didn't realize that there was a leave queue button at the top right at first.
Only for the party leader.
Yeah, and only for the party leader too. So I don't know.
Which also caused a problem because if the party leader dropped out of the queue, like we were talking about, the other 2
we couldn't leave. Yeah.
It didn't migrate the party leader.
Which is a weird oversight.
Problem is what it is.
Well, you can leave as the leader and have people, and it asks you if you want to leave by yourself or leave with the party. So as long as you chose the right option, it wouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
it could. So I don't know. You had an issue with the options menu in that you couldn't debind mouse scroll, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't like that's a pretty normal thing. Most of the time.
Well, yeah, but you would
mouse
think
scroll,
you would think an Unreal Engine game made for PC first by Cliff Bleszinski of all people wouldn't have
Allow that.
a better bindable key menu.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The other issue that I had with the options menu was that it kept resetting my options. Like if I was in game and tried in a match and tried to reset my graphics settings, it was like, okay, these changes all took place, and then I only knew this because my stream was fucking up. It was like, hey, your stream's fucking up. So I looked at my option settings and I'm like, why am I back at Ultra again? I just set it to medium 2 seconds ago.
So I didn't realize that because I didn't change any of my settings.
Yeah.
That is kind of a problem.
So you have to be in the mid. Like, some games will warn you these won't take effect until you restart, but this game just said these changes have taken effect. And that's
I feel like I think they must have just forgot to tick a box somewhere that made it like apply to your whole game instead of like resetting.
Yeah.
At the I don't know. That seems,
Like, it would
that
be
seems
fine
like
if
a
it
weird
said
thing.
these changes won't take place until you reset your game, because most of the time you can't change settings in the middle of a game.
Or
But
at
I just
least
figured that
say like it won't start till next match or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But the real problem wasn't that it didn't apply until I reset the game. It was if I was not in a menu, it wouldn't apply at all.
Oh yeah.
I would click apply and OK, and then it would be reset back to Ultra again the next time I opened the menu.
Oh, that
was a problem.
Yeah.
The other thing was, because the game's voice chat is powered by Discord,
Yeah,
it
that was
kept
another thing I noticed.
hijacking my Discord.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time I started up the game, it would mute me on disc. It would because I had a push to talk key bound in the game, it would require me to push to talk to my friends on Discord.
Yeah. And one thing that
That's
it did that, I noticed, I don't know if it was me, it was hijacking my Discord, or if it was hijacking Insane's Discord. When I looked into the Discord server, that we were all in, I wouldn't see, 3 bubbles, myself, Dawson, and Sane. I would see me and Dawson in a call, but I could hear Sane just fine, but it was the weirdest
Yeah, it was
bug.
definitely on Sane's end, because I remember, the very moment that he launched up the game was when he dropped from the call and then kept speaking to us from the fucking nether.
Yeah, it was really weird because on my Discord I could see all of you. It was just I don't know. It didn't really affect anything, but it was just annoying.
Yeah, it was a strange bug is all.
But all of that negative stuff being said, I really like the heads-up display in-game.
Oh yeah, the UI in game is super tight.
I really like that all of rather than having a bunch of things over menus overlaid over your screen, all of the weapons have ammo counters on them.
Oh yeah,
Which I
and
love. I
games
always
that
have
do
loved that.
Yeah.
And games like Halo would put numbers on that, but it would be redundant with the overlay menus because not all of them had that. But this one, I they made a point to make sure all of them were like that without, without having a bunch of redundancy built in.
Yeah. Basically, all you have is your health bar and your cooldowns and the objective. That's the entire UI, and it's great. I love minimal UIs because it doesn't get in the way of the action.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and one
same
thing
here.
that I really noticed about the UI, when I first started playing the game, I didn't know that there were ultimates in the game, and I noticed playing because I was playing fucking Titan immediately. I looked at it and I watched I had already had a cooldown on this ability. I was like, what the fuck is the deal with that? What? I have cooldowns and already use it, and then I just noticed something. Oh wait, hold up. This bubble is bigger than the other 2 bubbles. This must be my ultimate ability.
Yeah, and then eventually you figure out that they're all on Q.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah.
My issue with that aspect though is the F1. When you choose a character, you can hold F1 to look at your abilities. In Overwatch, it just puts all of your information on the screen. In this game, you have to click on the bubble
you have
that you want to know
F1
about,
and then click.
Yeah.
or like at the character select screen, you can click details, but you still have to click each individual ability, and that really deters me from like actually wanting to read the ability stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a menu in the lobby to see what all of the abilities are, but I might have just not fiddled with it. But yeah, I really wish that was a little bit cleaner and easy, and like all of the information was on the screen, so I didn't have to like be holding F1 to click on things to read my ability.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a negative, but I mean, it's funny. The game itself feels really good, but it's like a bunch of little weird things around the game that is kind of annoying.
Like if you've ever played Rainbow Six Siege and had to deal with fucking Ubisoft's trash garbage, yeah. And then when you actually, and then we actually get in the game, it's like, wow, this is really fun, but I hate
everything about the menu
in the
system is horrendous.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
basically the same thing, but it feels like
to LawBreakers' credit, I think it's still better than Rainbow Six Siege, even to this day.
Oh yeah. So, and another thing, like all of these feel like problems that can be patched out, whereas I feel like Rainbow Six Siege's like problems are just like
mostly
there forever. Yeah. And but
like,
definitely
these issues are just kind of like UI design bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure they'll sort it out or like, fix it later.
Yeah, like this is the point of a beta, is so that they can get feedback.
Yeah.
And the game comes out August 8th, so they don't have a whole lot of time, but I feel like UI is probably one of the last things they touch.
I feel like 2 months is probably enough time to patch
that problem. Yeah, but yeah, like, and I really hate making this comparison because everyone makes this comparison and it gets really boring. But this definitely is the Dark Souls of trying to find a game.
Oh my god.
Because trying to find a game boss is really, really hard. You have to like fight it multiple times. We died constantly when we were in a queue for a game, and then we had to just reload and fight it again.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll clear up a lot of the server issues as the game goes live. A lot of this was a stress test that was part of the purpose of the beta.
Yeah, and maybe it was just too stressful, and that's why we were having so many problems, and possibly why we were always put on the side of the police.
It also got better as we went on, too.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I think they might have been like doing live maintenance on the servers while trying to like sort everything out.
Oh, I just got late while we were playing one of the two.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's talk about sound design next. I think you had more problems with it than I did, Dawson. You want to talk about some of that?
I'm very mixed on the sound design. Like, I always I think the sound design was good in that. I think the sound design was good in trying to convey to you what was happening. All of the guns sounded very distinct from each other. All of the character ultimates made loud noises. That's always a bonus. When an ultimate ability makes a loud noise or has a very clear visual cue, that is always something that needs to be in like every game.
Yeah,
like,
or
example,
when the character...
The Scorpio rockets, I think they were called, or no, they were like Watchdog rockets, or something. Because the Enforcer would make a joke every time he used his Watchdog rockets, and like you could hear dee-dee-dee-dee, and he would say his voice line, and then he would fire the rockets every time. And
like
that
it would be
was
part of
always
the charge
clear.
Up animation.
Yeah, like, that was always clear when that was happening. Or then there was the lady with the chain gun that I don't think many of us actually played.
I played
her a little bit. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, she has an ability called To the Skies, where she jumps up and then slams the fuck down on somebody. And every time she jumped up, because it's such a dangerous thing at the end, she would yell, "To the skies!" as she went up. And that would tell you, okay, fucking scatter, she's coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem was, I feel like sound level balance, because like people would be saying stuff and shooting, and like yes, every time this guy fired his watchdog rockets, he would be like, "It's time to unleash the hounds," or whatever.
You like that?
You just mean the default sound lines? Because I think you can change like relative bit in there.
Yeah, I guess I mean the default because all.
Because I actually when I started I put my master down to like 50%, so I actually didn't hear a lot of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like at 50% for me, I could not hear the blitzball talk hardly at all. Maybe that's not an important thing, but like it was kind of sad that I didn't get to hear the voice actor very much.
Yeah,
hold on. If all you put was your master volume down, then that is a problem with the balancing levels.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I was saying I put it down to 50% and couldn't hear most of it. But yeah. So my opinion of the overall sound balance isn't that good overall. But
yeah.
One thing I did notice was I could never hear it at all.
Yeah, if there was a dude shooting at me, like actively shooting at me, I could hear bullets whizzing past my head, which is awesome. But because I was hearing, I might miss the "to the skies" that's 2 feet away from me. You know.
Well, to be fair, I heard "to the skies." I heard "to the skies" despite having low volume, but I did not hear the Enforcers line ever.
Yeah, like
so,
you have to like train your ear to listen to it. Whereas like in other games with like really tight sound design, okay, we keep going back to Overwatch.
I.e. Overwatch.
Yeah, we keep going back to Overwatch, but Overwatch has really like spot on perfect sound design. I don't think I've ever had a game that has had such good sound design. And
yeah, in Overwatch, it's your fault if you miss audio cues, not the game's.
Yeah, like all of the audio cues in Overwatch are like perfect. You know, like you don't even need to know what you're listening to. You just need to know that you're listening to it. If you hear "it's high noon," you're like, "Oh shit, that cowboy motherfucker must be doing something."
Yeah.
So for me, if we're putting Overwatch at 10 on sound design and Battleborn at 0,
yeah,
I'd probably give LawBreakers like a 7 on sound because it's obviously not as good as Overwatch, but it's still pretty good overall.
I think I would probably give it like a 5 or a 6. Like I'd say it's pretty like, and that's a true 5 or a 6. It's pretty middle of the line average sound design. Like I don't feel like the sound design in that game helps you to be a better player at all.
I don't know. I disagree because I think that for audio cues that you do need to hear, like like with ultimates and stuff, I think that there is enough there. They can do better to balance it, and I think that maybe they need to make some of the characters more distinct. But I think overall, I would say it's pretty.
That's true.
Especially also, for the amount of things you have to like telegraph in a game like this.
The announcer, this is something I'll give fairness to. The announcer is very clear. Like,
yeah,
every time something happens, the enemy has the ball, the enemy has the battery, the enemy has stolen the uplink every time, and you could hear it and you knew it was happening. Like,
yeah, unlike something like Heroes of the Storm, where half the time they just don't tell you. So.
Yeah. Or they do tell you, but like...
Yeah, like in Heroes of the Storm, the shrines specifically, you guys always have a problem with it. I just know to listen for the shrines. But yeah, the shrines like will come up and it's like, you're sitting there fighting dudes and shit, and while you're in the middle of a huge fight, you'll hear the shrines are awakening to the...
Yeah, I wish that they would like layer the audio on top of it better in that game, but yeah, this game, I think that its announcer is a lot better than I have seen in other games that are very objective based. So.
Really clear.
Your team scored.
So yeah, that's for certain.
So yeah, I agree. I think that it could be better. I think for the most part, I think we agree that it could be better, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's
and
not.
like, I'm putting this.
Like, none of
I'd
the sounds
also
get in the way of you.
Yeah, I'd also give this like around the same place as Sane did. I give it a 7, but I feel like my opinion has been sort of tainted by Battleborn because oh god, was Battleborn's sound design is so bad, and just like even like maybe this one really is average, but I just think like, well, I knew what was going on.
I feel like Battleborn really teaches you how to do it wrong.
Oh,
Yeah,
And I don't want to I don't want to beat down Battleborn because I know that a lot of
because
people
everybody
are.
has.
But yeah, but like I just
the sound design in that game was.
that was our
the worst
biggest
aspect.
like takeaway
Oh,
from
yeah.
Battleborn is that the sound design was so bad.
And it's not even like when I listened to the characters' voice lines, I was like, wow, these voices and voice lines are terrible. But when I actually played the game, I couldn't even tell that there were voice lines happening because of so much other shit happening. In this game, I could at least hear my own character's voice lines.
Oh yeah, well yeah. It's like you hear all those people like you see like people send you a YouTube video of all like the voice lines for Orendi, and you're like, wow, this is terrible. Don't worry, you won't be able to hear us.
Yeah, you won't be able to hear. It's like the fucking the auditory version of those stupid meme images where like the UI is so cluttered that you can't see anything. Like,
Yeah, or
You mean like an Assassin's Creed game?
Yeah, like it's an underwater mission, and you have your oxygen meter, and your health meter, your stamina meter, and then there's the achievements. There's a Steam overlay. There's the it's those fucking images.
Right.
So it's the
It's
audio.
the auditory version of
It
that.
shows
except
you
it's
your
real.
oxygen meter twice.
Yeah. So it's the auditory version of Battleborn's UI then. Like
Yeah.
the visual.
Yeah, Battleborn's UI is also bad. Unlike LawBreakers.
Yeah, unlike
LawBreakers
LawBreakers.
UI is fantastic. Like in-game UI
It's
is
super
fantastic.
clean and
Yeah.
actually one of the things I really like about the health bar design in Lawbreakers is they give it to you as both a number value and a bar, which I don't think I've seen a lot of other games do. Like, and it's like a
Overwatch
curved
does.
bar that kind of curves around your health.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, in Overwatch it does have kind of a bar, but it feels like it takes up a lot less space in Lawbreakers.
So,
So it feels
here's
more
another
minimal
thing in
still.
Lawbreakers. I don't know what each tick means, but it has ticked health bars above the enemy. And what I mean by that is, like, each set number of damage is like one tick of health. And I really like that because I've gotten used to it from Dota specifically. Like, I know that each tick is 200 health in Dota. I don't know how much each health is, or like each tick of health is above the enemies, but I do know that my bullets take off a tick of health and they have 20 of them, you know?
Right. It's nice when you can kind of from a
Guesstimate
glance,
how much-
from a glance measure how much health they have left.
That, of course, is going back to the UI, but...
Right. I just think they've made a lot of smart choices in game with their UI. So.
Yeah.
This is something going back to sound design, actually. I noticed in the options menu that there was an option for a noise to play when you get a hit on somebody. And I tried, like, 7 different noises from that option, and I could not hear a one of them.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
a good
actually
point.
know that was an option.
Yeah, like there is a default sound too. So like the fact that you didn't know that was an option is kind of telling. Like that
Or
like,
maybe it. I don't know. Maybe it
the
does.
option was just broken. I don't know.
Well, maybe it did make a sound, but I just didn't notice it because there is still a lot going on. I don't know. But that just goes
maybe the
back to
sound is
mixing.
too
Like
yeah, sound
maybe
mixing.
some of that could be solved by us playing with our mixers ourselves, but I think the default sound mix isn't great.
No, it's not very good.
But it is cool that they give you so many options to change the sound, even if right now you can't hear it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could touch up that menu. I think overall it's fun. But yeah, I do think that they do need to balance sound cues. So overall, like one of the last things I think we want to talk about before we get into our conclusion, balance of the game. And granted, this is beta, so all of it's moving.
And not only that, but like I feel like our feelings changed on like the balance as the game went on. And I feel like
that's
the more
true.
we play it, you know, they might also change.
So take this part with a grain of salt, but what are your knee-jerk reactions to how characters and game types are balanced?
Shotgun robot too strong.
Now, I already covered this in the game modes. I think that Blitzball is, like, the worst game mode out of the ones they have. And it's because the fast characters are the strongest, and I don't know what they can really do to solve it other than maybe put a plant timer, like it has that you were talking about in Halo. Putting a plant timer would kind of solve it, but it always calls back to the capture the flag problem of just rush the enemy base with scout and get out of there before they can react to it.
Well, here's the thing, though.
In the other game modes, right? In the other game modes in this particular game, like the uplink mode, for instance, when you finish getting the uplink, there is still like a score counter. Like Blitzball is the only one that isn't like that, which is weird.
Oh yeah. Once you finish, once you get the uplink to 100%, you also have to hold the uplink for 10 seconds in order to score a point.
Yeah.
Whereas in Blitzball, you stand on the ball for 3 seconds and bum rush the enemy point.
Right.
That's it. That's all you have to do.
Maybe, so I'm thinking maybe the idea is for it to be something more akin to like soccer. Like, or like Rocket League would probably be a good comparison. Like when you put something in the goal, it goals, right?
Yeah.
But I just don't think that works for the game.
Right.
And
all of the characters had, like, maybe if the Blitzball gave you a speed boost up to a set number, like the faster characters didn't get as big of a boost.
Well, here's the thing. From a fundamental standpoint, I don't think it's a problem that the faster and more mobile characters have, are the runners for the ball. Like, in football, you give, the ball to a person who runs it. So, and how fast that person moves is important. So, like, I am fine with the greater concept that only specific characters should kind of grab the ball.
That's true. Yeah.
But I think that, and like, in the same token, you could give it to the beefier guy because he, would be able to hold it longer. Like, I just think that right now they need to do something about, like, planting it, because it's too easy to just quickly run by the goal and throw it in. Like, it's too hard to defend on. I think that's the real issue.
Maybe if the Blitzball, like specifically the Blitzball maps were.
Well, I don't know, because I think all of the maps are multiple mode maps.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know.
But like the Blitzball maps you're so fast to be able to get it to the enemy base that they don't have time to react unless there's somebody already standing there. And if there's somebody already standing at the think about it this way. If there's a guy standing there at his own base and you guys cap the ball, then that guy is literally doing nothing for you.
Right.
Like, obviously you didn't need him anyway, but he's doing nothing because you guys have the ball and he's not defending.
Well, I don't think that the concept of having a goalie character is bad per se, but even when there is a goal for someone who is dedicated to stand there and protect the ball, it's still too easy to run past them. That's ultimately the problem, I think.
Yeah. Like, Tribes had goalie characters, right? And they, I think the goalie character in Tribes had a force field that the faster you were moving when you went through the force field, the more damage you would take. So... And, like, obviously that only works in Tribes specifically, but, maybe, if you were the Juggernaut,
I have an idea.
You could be the Juggernaut and place down your barrier.
I have a weird idea. Maybe, actually, maybe this wouldn't work because of still, like, the Assassin and maybe in the case the Juggernaut. But what if there was an anti-gravity field around the goal?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe that would help because that slows everyone down in the area.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or speeds up. It speeds up slower characters and kind of slows down faster characters.
So
that would balance it a little bit, yeah.
Well, I think that's still
the
kind of an
Juggernaut's
issue.
really slow outside of anti-grav, or not the Titan was really slow outside of anti-grav, but really fast in anti-grav.
Yeah.
I still think that's kind of a problem with the Assassin though, because I don't know how you would stop her from just taking the grappling hook and grappling to the ground.
Jumping to it, yeah.
And then the Juggernaut has his shift ability, always plants him.
Just drops him to the ground immediately, yeah.
So I don't know, like that might be something to play with as an option, but I don't know that that would fix it. I still think like timing your plants would be better, kind of in the opposite way that the shield is nice for something like uplink.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I actually think we got through balance pretty well now that we're talking about it.
Yeah, overall though, like other than Blitzball and like maybe the Wraith is a little strong and maybe the Juggernaut is a little strong,
Yeah.
I think overall the balance is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
The Wraith was
one
the
of
new
things-
character, so
Yeah. One of the things I did want to talk about, probably should have talked about with gameplay, but this also fits here. I was kind of talking about this with Appledan because he was talking about he's been playing a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, and he's like, if he feels like it sometimes feels really random, like if someone sees you and shoots you first, then you die. In this game, I feel like if someone sees you and shoots you, it's time for the fucking showdown, may the best man win, and I love that.
Yeah, but that's kind of like intrinsic to arena shooters anyway. And
yeah, I think that's good because it's very like LawBreakers it toes this really weird line, and this probably goes back to just Cliff Blazinski having so much experience with arena shooters in particular. But it feels like it toes this perfect line between having a relatively short time to kill and being able to react to when you're getting shot. Like, except for like some small exceptions, like the assassin being able to backstab you, the Juggernaut being able to like get you with his knife. I think for the most part, you always have at least some amount of time you can react to getting shot at.
The Wraith is also pretty hard to react to because he can shoot you, then slide knife you.
Yeah, but even then, I think it depends, like, because I feel like with the Wraith, you can look at the ground and shoot, which...
You can, like, shoot at him as he's sliding at you, and then boot him in the face, which comes out slightly faster.
Yeah.
Well,
so
the thing is...
depend, like you said.
Yeah, like, the thing about sliding, I've noticed on the Wraith, is it kind of flattens out your silhouette on the ground, so it makes it easier to shoot when they're sliding, so... I mean, it depends, and there's, like, some weird outliers, but I think overall, it's just really good at how it balances the time to kill. It's just great.
Definitely.
So let's move into our overall conclusions. We've kind of hit on a lot of the things that, you know, we've kind of thought about this game. Overall, how do you guys like this game? Are you planning to buy it pretty quickly? Like, how do you feel about it?
This game was already fucking rigged in my favor because it's an arena shooter and I love those.
Yeah,
I feel very similar.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, like, I'm not 100% sold on day one buy. I don't think it's something I would play alone, but I don't generally play like multiplayer games alone, like, ever. Like, I never solo queue in Overwatch.
I don't think I've been, like, okay. So I've already solo played this game by myself. I've solo played Overwatch quite a bit too. I don't know, I can't remember how excited for Overwatch I was back when it first, like, I knew that I was really excited, but I don't feel like I've been as excited to play more of a game as I have LawBreakers in a long time, at least since Overwatch came out.
Yeah.
So, like,
I feel the same way. It's a very fun game, and I enjoy the fuck out of playing it.
I am really invested in it, and I think I do want to just day one buy because it feels so fun for me.
I probably am gonna have to agree with you there.
So,
yeah, definitely.
Overall, I think it's a really good game. I didn't know how I really felt about it, like, going in. I didn't know how much I would like it, but coming out of the beta, I'm really sold on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the beta feels so like super tight. Like, I definitely will pick it up at some point, like, for sure.
Like, we did a lot of
it's always money permitting for me, so I'm not, like, I don't think this is a game that I'm going to, like, specifically save the date and be sure I have $40, like, stashed away in a fucking jar somewhere. But, like, if I have the money when it comes out, I will buy it when it comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, like, I'm pretty sold on this game.
Yeah, same. I fucking kind of loved it. It was a lot of fun.
Definitely.
I've been playing a lot of games that I've just haven't had a bunch of fun playing, and this one isn't one of them. Like, again, we go back to we played fucking Battleborn really recently. It was free for a little bit, and it still is. I think maybe whatever. Fucking, we played that and we were like, I had no fun at all playing it, and I played this game and had lots and lots and lots of fun, and we played it for hours, and
and all this talking, we've been talking about it for almost 2 hours, and stop. I think there's a good chance we might just go play it right now. So
yeah, and like okay.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. Do you have anything else?
Well, it's like, you know, we did do a lot of shit talking about like Blitzball and like some of the stuff, but it was still fun to play even doing that. And one of the things that Blitzball does actually have in its favor is we actually didn't mention this. Justin Roiland voices the Blitzball, and it has a cute little picture of the Blitzball's face up in the top, and that's a positive if I ever saw one.
Yeah, he's always the little icon is always reacting and stuff as you.
Yeah. But yeah, good game. We all liked.
Yep. Fantastic.
Enemy ball.
Okay, so that's our thoughts on Lawbreakers.
Yeah.
You lose.
We'll catch you guys next time.
We talk about maybe a game that's worse.
Oh yeah, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Forgot to say that.
Okay, bye.
Bye.